Hey guys, this is Ayush Singh Negi back with yet another video. So today we are going to discuss about Jetpack Compose in Android development. Now Jetpack Compose sounds fancy, doesn't it? Well, it is as fancy as it sounds. It is a modern UI toolkit that is designed to simplify UI development in Android. It consists of a reactive programming model with conciseness and ease of Kotlin programming language. Now, as you know, Kotlin was a step towards simplifying and shortening the code while giving more power. You can say that Jetpack Compose is another step in towards that, and it makes the code even shorter and even better. So in this case, you won't even need to use the XML files or anything else to alter anything. You will just need to basically uh, like you will just need the Kotlin file to design and do everything else all together at once. So here what we are gonna do is basically first I am going to explain what Jetpack Compose is. Then I'm going to tell you what are the benefits of Jetpack Compose, what challenges we can solve by using Jetpack Compose, how do we get started with Jetpack Compose, what are composable functions, layouts, material design, lists and animations, and then the conclusion. So from composable functions till lists and animations, I'm going to give you tutorials of how to do it. So let's get with the what. So what is Jetpack Compose? Well, less code plus more power to develop, that defines Jetpack Compose perfectly, as it is a modern UI toolkit recently launched by Google, which is used for building native Android user interface. It simplifies and accelerates the UI development with less code, Kotlin APIs, and powerful tools. So you can see the conciseness already here, as we are simplifying the code and accelerating UI development with the lesser code, with using more APIs dedicated for Kotlin and using more powerful tools. What are the benefits of using Jetpack Compose? It is declarative. What that means is it is fully declarative, so that you can describe your UI components by calling some predefined functions. That is very convenient. It is compatible. It is easily compatible with the existing views present in Android. So that means we don't have to create anything. We can use all the existing views that were there beforehand. It increases development speed. Well, previously developers worked on XML files and Kotlin files, but with the help of Jetpack Compose, it becomes very easy. And as I said, you will only need to work on the Kotlin files, and it will increase the development speed. This concise and idiomatic Kotlin. So Jetpack Compose is built the UI with the benefit that Kotlin brings. Now, Kotlin is already, like I said, a very concise language, and on top of which you're further implementing some functions to it and making it even more convenient. So that makes it even better, even more accurate, lesser files. So as we are as half of our files being cut down, like all the XML files will be cut down, so we'll have lesser files, and the code base of any application is present in a single file. It becomes easy to manage and handle the code base of the application. Next, it is written in Kotlin. Again, we don't need to say anything else about Kotlin. It is a very good language, and it will just keep on developing and getting better by the day. Now, what challenges can we solve using Jetpack Compose? So there are many challenges that we can solve. Number one is we can avoid the uh, occurrences of null references due to coupling. Now, what are null references? Null references are those references which basically happen when Like in Java, we used to use a view model concept in which we found each view from our XML layout file to our requirement. In most apps, we use the UI elements to display dynamically. So this may sometimes give an error of null reference. So due to this dynamic representation, it might give the null reference error, which we don't need. Another one is coupling. Coupling is using both XML and Java files together. We don't want that. These challenges are solved by Jetpack Compose. We don't need to use find view by ID and those kind of things over here. If we prefer the same to use the same language for writing our UI components and for adding the functionality, it will help us make it easier to maintain our code by using this method. Now that a firm base has been formed, let's get started with some fun practical illustrations. Like I told you, I'm done. I'm not going to go much on theory. I'm straight away getting on with what we need to do and how I need to show my illustrations. So firstly, what do we need to get started with Jetpack Compose? You will need the latest version of Android Studio Arctic Fox. It is available on the net for free. You don't need to do anything, and you don't need to pay or anything else. You just need to download it and install it. And secondly, it is also given in the link of my blog, so you can check that out. And thirdly, what I want to say is that I'm going to just close this application. This is the one that I am going to do. It is a basic application to show like a chat between friends, or you can say something else. So it will basically show you the different types of things. So you can how to modify the UI, how to make it very compact, how to make how to make fluid animations. All of this can be done by Jetpack Compose. So okay, so what I'm going to do now is basically the file as I'm recording and doing uh, yeah, I'm recording and doing Android Studio at the same time. This might lag a lot. So no issues. We can handle that. Android Studio is anyway not meant for this strong of. It's meant for strong computers. Mine isn't that strong. Yeah. New project. Okay, so now what you have to do is you have to choose empty compose activity. This has been introduced recently after the entrance of Arctic Fox. Before that, this wasn't there. And then just go with next. You'll get the option of naming it. So I already have a my application. What I'm going to name it is what should I name it? Okay, Convo, because it will be like a conversation app. Convo. So API 22. So it supports almost 92.3% devices. That is a lot of devices. So yeah, this will be the package name, and we'll click on finish. And now let's wait for the installation and the Gradle to build, start for the daemon to start, all of these processes. Okay, so the Gradle build is now finished, Gradle sync. So yeah, so what I was saying was that it took me 2 minutes 41 seconds, but that's fine. So as the installation is done and the new project is now created, so firstly we are going to do composable functions. Now what are these composable functions? First of all, so Jetpack Compose is built around composable functions. These functions let you define your API's UI programmatically by describing how it should look and providing data dependencies. What this means is that it will describe everything that you probably need. It will make your work easier, and it will also provide you dependencies that you will be needing for defining and programming your UI. Rather than focusing on the process of the UI's construction, that is initializing an element, attaching it to a parent, etc., to create a composable function, just add the composable annotation to the function name. That's how you will get the basic initialization of a composable function. So firstly, I'm going to use a simple in composable functions, I'm going to do a simple program which would be to add a text element which would display hello world. So firstly, I would like to yes, so as I was saying that we will create a very simple program to basically print hello world on our mobile device or whatever it is. So firstly, I'll just do one thing. I'll start the recording on my mobile so it becomes easier for me to use it after that. So yeah, till then so yeah, okay, so let's just start with it. So firstly, what we are gonna do is, don't need any of this right now. These are the basic default things that were given right now, but since we have not studied them yet, I'll just give you a brief summary of what we are going to do. So first we'll create a class, a main activity with the component activity. Then we'll start the onCreate function. Then what we'll do is we'll set the content to convo theme won't be there. Convo theme comes later on. So just this. Okay, so in set content, we'll just write a simple text that will say hello world exclamation mark. Okay, great. So now I'll just run this app. So Gradle sync, let's see what happens. And there we have it. We have hello world written. So there's no one thing by default that I've kept in my themes always. That is, I've kept it to night mode, which I don't want. I'll keep it to I'll keep it to light because we need light right now. I don't want anything else. Okay, great. I'll just run this again so that we can see it once more. The only difference that will happen is just it will be in light theme and terminate the process, run it again. Yeah, it's white screen now. White screen and hello world is written. So as we wanted. Now what you're gonna do next is close this, we don't need it. Next, what we are going to do is, now that we have displayed a simple function to display a simple text label saying hello world, we have set the content to hello world. It defines the layouts activities layout where we call composable functions, and composable functions can only be called from other composable functions. So that's the interrelation between them. Jetpack Compose uses a Kotlin compiler plugin to transform these composable functions into the app's UI elements, thereby making it very easy for us to do UI plus uh, adding functionalities at the same time. So for example, the text function that is defined by the UI compose library displays a text label on the screen as we saw, which is hello world. Now what we're going to do is, now that is done, we are going to go and define a composable function. Okay, so now that this is done, all we need to do is need to make a function composable. So all we need to do is add @composable annotation to it. To try this out, we'll define a message card saying hello and then the name. So hello world was the previous one. Now we'll say hello Ayush. Okay, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do, which is passed, which passes a name and uses it to configure the text element. So now firstly what we'll do is we'll set the content with a message card, no spaces, sorry. Message card will say Ayush. Great, but now there's an error because we haven't described a function with that particular name. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to first write composable @composable to make it into a function that will be composable. So yeah, that's done. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna write the function name, function message card, defining it here. Sorry for the lag if there's any. We're gonna the name will be string, so name, which is a string data type. So we have declared it here. We are opening it, and we'll write a text, and the text will say hello space $, and the name. That's it. That's all there is to it. So far we have only written around 12 lines of code, and through that also we are getting a lot. So I'll just display this. I'll run it again. Let's see what happens. It should display hello Ayush. Okay, great. It shows hello Ayush, as you can see. So now what I'm gonna do is basically that we are going to preview our function in Android Studio. Okay, so as you know, Android Studio lets us take a preview. So it will let us preview our composable functions within the IDE. So we don't need to install it on our emulators or on our devices to check what the output is. We can just see the preview with a preview function to with a preview annotation to check what it is, what the preview will be, what the output will be. So we'll make a second function named preview message card, which calls the message card with an appropriate parameter, and then we'll just rebuild our project, because every time we need a preview, so we need to build it over and over. So we'll just rebuild it, and then will show us the preview, and every time we need to do it, every time we need to see refresh it. So just that. So @preview, and then we'll define it to be composable. @composable. Great. So now that that's done, we'll define the function preview message, no spaces. I have a habit of giving spaces, sorry for that. Message card, and then we'll open it, and then message card will say name. So we don't need to define it to be name itself. We can just put the yeah, we can just put it as a string and say Ayush. Great. Now as instructed, we'll just build it. Okay, so the Gradle build is now over, and now as we can see, here's the preview. Okay, so it's just initializing. Give it a second. It will show us what the preview is. Yeah, so here's the preview of the card. It's called Hello Ayush. So yeah, so we'll get back to the code. Now, okay, we are done with the part for composable functions. I hope you understood that, how convenient it is that we can get a preview out of it. We can make we can call the composable functions with each other, and how we can just make it very convenient to just put it in the layout at the position we want. It's simple. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play with layouts. Now we're going to give it some shape. We are going to give the like make some more elements into it. So so UI elements are hierarchical. What that means that they can be inherited by other classes. So with elements contained in other elements in Compose, you build a UI hierarchy by calling composable functions from other composable functions, like I was saying. So we can build a UI hierarchy by calling composable functions from other composable functions. That makes code reusability and inheritance come into the picture, and it makes it very convenient for us to use. So now what we're going to do is the very first point in that is adding multiple texts. So now what we want to do is we want to add the name, which is Android or Ayush or anything like that, and we also want to write Jetpack Compose or whatever it is. But at the same time we want to add something called colleague, hey, take a look at Jetpack Compose, it's very convenient, or something like that. So how are we gonna do that? So we can do that by first in our message card we'll write so far we have built our first composable function in preview. Now we're gonna see multiple capabilities to build a simple messaging screen containing a list of messages, okay, with some animations. So let's start by making our message composable richer by displaying the name of its author and a message content. We need to first change our composable parameter to accept a message object instead of a string, and add another text composable inside the message card composable. So as I said, so now we have to update our preview as well, of course. So firstly what we're going to do is the first change that we have to make is we have to make a message card, and instead of this being a string we need to specify it as a message, and inside this message we will write Ayush or comma name of the author, comma the whatever the subject is. So let's say Jetpack Compose. Okay, great. Now we'll close the bracket. Oh sorry, not here, outside the double quotes. Done. What we're gonna do is we're gonna import the message message import, so that we can use that composable inside this composable. So I think this one is this one itself, Android OS one. Yeah, okay. Then we'll have to define what this message class is exactly. Oh, actually we didn't need to do that then. We didn't need to import it. So what we are going to do is we are going to write data class message author. That's the value, and it is a string. Then value body, that is also a string. Now this makes it very convenient for us to basically just use the author and the body of the message card. Am I getting some error? Okay, let me check. Message card to message, alt shift enter. Let's. Okay, there must have been some error. I don't know. It's changed now. Okay, so the reference was changed. Okay. Got it. Okay, understood. Name is a message, so I'll just control Z this to see what the change was exactly. There was a change somewhere. My Android Studio is operating very slowly today. So what we're gonna do, oh yeah, we need to change the preview as well. That's the second error I'm getting first of all. So we're gonna write Ayush, comma, hey, take a look at Jetpack Compose. Take a look at Jetpack Compose. It's awesome. Something like that. You can write anything. So what's the error here? Okay. This should be name, I guess. No, wait, I have to change this as well. So I forgot this part, so sorry. So I'll declare this as a message instead of a name, just because it's an entire message. So I'll name it as message, and then in the text, in the function, we'll declare text is equal to message dot author. So that will be the first one, and in the second one we'll write text, and text is equal to message dot body. Done. Now what we'll do is in the preview we'll write message card, and inside message card we'll have to write a message. Okay, so message is equal to message, like we did over here. We just need to use the variable as well to get the preview over here, and we'll open the bracket and close the bracket here. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we don't need the preview as such. I'll just switch on my application that was there, and I'm going to run it again. So let's wait till it runs. As you can see, now here's the key thing. Okay, this code creates two text elements inside the content view. Okay, and they are one on top of the other. So no information has been provided on how to arrange them. It's just said that we'll give two inputs. One is the author, one is the body. That's it. Nowhere is it said that we'll arrange them in this way or that way, or what how we'll arrange the padding, or how much padding will we give, how much elevation we'll give, or how like on x-axis or y-axis how much, where we'll arrange it. None of that is specified. So they'll just be on drawn on top of one on top of the other, and it'll make it unreadable. Okay, that's where column function comes in. So now we'll be using a column function which lets us arrange elements vertically. So how is that helpful? In this case, now we can see the author's name, that will be first, and then the title or the body, which will be second. So now I will write, we'll add a column function to the message card so that it makes it more readable, you could say. See, I don't need to specify anything. It will just make the inputs more column wise, and I can use a row function to arrange the items horizontally. Right now I want it more like column wise, so I'll just do that. So this is open. I'll just write column take start and tab. Enter and it. Okay, so why is it showing me an error? I haven't imported it yet, I guess. But since my Android Studio is so slow right now, I don't know what's the issue. Just we need to add the library, which is add library to the Gradle, to the class path. Okay, so just Alt Shift Enter, so that library will be added. And now what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to wait because this should be working. Okay, what have I done wrong here? Okay, yeah, now it'll work. Sorry for that. Alt Shift Enter. Yeah, now it'll work. Okay, silly mistake. Keep in mind the opening braces should be either in a tab space downstairs or preferably at the side of the function. So just run this. Again, it'll take me 1,000 years, so no. It happened early this time. So yeah, the code is now a lot more readable. I can see that Ayush and Jetpack Compose are one by one, so it's a bit more readable. We can experiment and do this. Oh, come on, huh? Row. Now what we're going to do is we're gonna run it again, rerun it. Let's see what happens. After 1,000 years. I thought there should be an import statement too with this. Yep, it doesn't know what row is, I guess. Now it will come. So you'll get prompt to add row. Import. Now we'll run it again. Hopefully it runs. Yeah. So as you can see, both the words are now side by side, like Ayush and Jetpack Compose. so I don't need to do anything. Compose are side by side now, and they are combined in that manner, but they are more readable and in a row wise manner. We needed a column because that's how we're going to do it, as it's a column, as it's a author and a name. So I think that's already there, so I won't get any problems with the column thing. So next what we have is called is adding an image element thing. So now what we're gonna do is gonna add an image. So in my previous this, I'll just stop the recording and add my. So right then I'll just copy my previous whatever photograph is, and I'll paste it over here. We pasted as profile underscore picture dot jpg. It will be in the, you can use the resource manager or you can use this method as well. So all you need to do is paste it inside the drawable folder. Next what you do is you go back to Android. What you do is now you'll have to input it inside your main message card function. So just write it down. So instead of this being like this, I'll write row, then I'll write what is it called, image, open curve bracket, and then I'll import this. Yep, this is the one. Painter is equal to painter resource. Here we'll write it as r.id dot not id, r.drawable dot profile picture. There we have it. Then we'll put a comma and we'll put content description. It's not needed, but okay. So contact profile picture. So in case if your profile picture doesn't load, it will show a cross sign and it will say contact profile picture. Next what we have is we'll put a comma again. Yeah, that's complete. So now this is it for the code, and I'll just upload it. It should show my profile picture. After 1,000 years, no, it happened early this time. So yeah, there's one issue over here right now. I just observed that the row is ending over here. Doesn't have to end here, it has to end here. That way it is way more organized. So I'll just run it again once more. So it will be terminate the process, run it again. Yeah, now that's what you want. You need a profile picture, and then beside that we need the content that is there. Ayush and Jetpack Compose. After that we have to configure our layout. Now this content is written properly, but the profile picture is too big. Okay, so and it is not well spaced as well, so we need to decorate it. So we can use modifiers with that. So how will we do that is what we're going to find out. We can use padding, we can use different types of things. We can change the size of the image, we can do everything. We can do everything that we want, and we can make the elements clickable. We can make them much more richer, you could say, in a sense. So let's use these functions to basically make it way better. So first thing what we need to do is we need to define a modifier inside over here. modifier is equal to modifier dot padding. We're giving it a padding of 8 dp, so all is equal to 8 dp. So this thing will get well spaced. So okay, we don't have the units also because XML is not there. So this is Kotlin, pure Kotlin. So we need to use Jetpack Compose to import all of these packages. So modifier should be Kotlin modifier, obviously. Padding should be, of course, again. And again another Compose UI resource DP. So after that we have, now we need to change the size of the image. So after this comma we have modifier is equal to 5. Great. Now we'll set the image size to 40 dp. That's a very good size. And we'll set the clip image to be a circle. So like, you know, they give the conversations and everything on social media these days, we have circular shapes. So circular is the best. Circle shapes, circles. Yeah. Now size isn't there, so we need to import that. Alt Shift Enter. And clip isn't there either, so we'll import that too. And other than that, we need to add a spacer to add a horizontal space between the image and the column. So other than padding, we need to do this as well. So spacer. Now modifier is already inside, so modifier width, we'll specify dot width 8.dp. So even this is 8 dp. Great, so we are done. Now anything else is remaining, I just have to check. And yeah, supposing we need to put the spacer here too. We have to add a vertical space so that it spaces correctly as well between the author and the body, whatever is there. So spacer modifier is equal to modifier. Now this time it will be height dot height and 4.dp. 4 dp is fine. Correct. Okay. So now that that's done, let's run it and let's see what happens. Download the previous one and look at that. Wow, it is a circular image as we needed it, and the size is perfect, the spacing is perfect. It looks good. Now now that we have seen how to make that, what we'll do is we'll use material design now. Now what is material design? Okay, we are done with layouts and we are done with composable functions. So the material design is basically Compose is built to support material design principles. Many of its user interface elements implement material design out of the box. So here we'll style our app with material widgets. So let's see how we can do that. So material widgets, like how to like change the theme from light to dark, or change the like color outside the images, all of those things. So we'll be doing that. So first what we're going to do is we'll be adding a theme to it. So by default we are provided with a theme and it's in our imports. So as it is called Convo theme. Okay, so we'll be adding that so that it's we can implement material design and UI elements out of the box. So we wrap our message card function with this particular theme, and we do it in the preview and set content function as well. And then we can add color, typography, shape one by one. So let's do it first. Let's do what I was talking about. So that is adding my a convo theme to all of this. So firstly, in set content, outside this, we'll write what's the name, convo theme. Great. So we'll just take this, cut it, and paste it inside over here. We don't need to specify anything here. That's it. Sorry. Yeah. Now we are done with that. So after that, we need to do the same in the preview. So we have made a preview as well, if you all remember. So over here also we'll make one outside the message card. So it will be convo theme. Convo theme. And the message card will be inside it. Great, we are done. So that's about it. And then we are moving forward to, we're adding color. Okay, so now we are styling the colors outside like the image and all of those things. So let's start with styling the title and adding a border to the image. So as I was saying, so a good blue colored border would be fine. So I'll just go and see how we can do that. So here we will go to border. Okay, a border function, as I remember. Border. And then we'll add 1.5 dpi border. And material theme is what we'll use. And in that we'll be using colors, secondary, and it should have a circle shape. Now we have specified all of this. We'll close the bracket here, and just I'll have to import border as well, as it's not there. We have to import this resource. Alt Shift Enter. Oh wait, so what I realized was that I had opened the brackets here after this. I don't know why. Automatically it happened. And now what we are going to do is that I think that's about it, because oh yeah, in the column section we need to make some typography as well. So I guess that would come to here. So firstly, after this it would be, I'll just put an enter. With this it will be comma, color is equal to material theme dot colors dot secondary variant. Yeah, this I don't know why. See, again this bracket, I don't know why it comes. Now it's fine. Secondary variant. Thirdly, we need the style. So style is equal to material theme again dot typography dot subtitle 2. That's the type of font we'll be using. So where have I messed up again? So it's an undefined reference, okay. Because we haven't put a comma here. Great. Now we'll be doing the same over here for the body. So since we are not putting any colors or anything, we'll just be writing style is equal to material theme dot typography dot body 2. Great, these are the changes we have made to the typography and to the outer lining or outlining of the image. Okay, so let's see what happens. Since we have done both, I'll just specify what typography is as well. So it will style the material, it will style using the material theme, and it adds different types of fonts to the text. So as typography suggested, made them 2 in 1. So I'll just run that now. Guess my phone wasn't connected. Now it is. So I'll just run it. Yeah, it's done. Yeah, as you can see, Ayush and the outlining of my image is in a different font altogether. So now shape. Now with shape we can add the final touches. We can also add padding to the message for a better layout. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the shape. So to change the shape, I will have to add something called surface. Oh, not like that. Surface shape is equal to material theme dot shapes dot medium as a size, and elevation will be 1 dp. This is for the body, as we'll make the body which is like Jetpack Compose will be elevated a bit, like a message or something like that, you could say, and it will be elevated by 1 dp. That's enough. And we'll just begin it here. And we'll end it here. Great, we're done. So that was the final finishing touch to the image and the text, only the text, I mean the body. So let's run it again and see what happens. Terminate the process and rerun it. So as you can see, the elevation is of 1 dp, and there's a little outlining over here. I don't know why the color is this. This shouldn't be the color. Typography, shapes dot medium elevation, material shapes. Okay, so anyway, it is just elevated a bit, and as you can see, it is inside that outer covering. Just load the preview. It will be loading it, rendering it. Yeah, this is how it should look like. Hey, take a look at Jetpack Compose. It's awesome. That's how it looks like. In my phone, there must be some issue. Okay, wait, I got it. No, both places it's light, or something else might be the issue. Anyway, okay. After this, we move on to using a dark theme. Now, all of us programmers and coders love the dark theme. I'm pretty sure of that, or the night mode, so that we can use the display better at night, or simply many of us love the dark theme itself. So material design supports that, and Jetpack Compose can handle the theme by itself. So all we need to do is just make the theme, like we need to specify the theme as to be dark. So what we're going to do is just say in there's a theme.kt file or themes.xml file, whichever one, and you can use it to basically change the style. Like you can make it light and dark themes. So I'll be using the XML file. So what I'll do is I'll just go over here and change it to day night. Okay, similarly here, day night. Okay, so now that it's filed, all we need to do is we can check our preview over here. We can make 2 previews if you want. So let's see. So at the rate preview, and the name will be equal to light mode, whereas in the second one, at the rate preview, the UI mode is equal to configuration dot UI underscore mode night. Yes, yeah, that's about it. Put a comma, and show background is equal to true, as we want to show the black background, and finally name will be given dark mode. So just the name of the preview, so I'll just split screen it. As you can see, in the dark mode, the dark preview is loaded, and in the light mode it's the normal preview. So I'll just run it on my well, there's no need, but I'll yeah, since I've made the changes in the theme, I'll just run it. Okay, it's back to being slow. Let's get back when it is done. Till then, I would just like to say that while we create messages, so right now we just did it with a normal file that was a normal message and everything like that. Now we are going to work with a list of messages because we want to experiment more, right? So now lists and animations come into it, and that will be next. So let's just hope it completes loading fast. Okay, so it's done building, and now we'll just terminate the process and run it again. It's installed, and there we have it. It's perfect, just perfect. Black theme, a little bit of black pop-up, and you can see that is written over here. Jetpack Compose is written. And then, okay, so what are lists and animations now? The lists and animations are everywhere in apps. You know that. Like in Java we used recycler view. Here we are using something else altogether. In this lesson we will learn how to how Compose makes it easy to create lists and fun to add animations. Okay, so here we go. So now firstly we are going to add a so we need to add a create a conversation and add it, so to show multiple messages. For that we are going to use lazy column and lazy row. What it does is that it will replicate all of the messages that are there inside a particular sample let's say class, and it will take all of those, and using the pre-created method of preview this function was there, so it will use the same method and it will make all of them like the message card. So that's what it will do. So these composables render only the elements that are visible on screen, so they are designed to be very efficient for long lists. At the same time, they avoid the complexity of recycler view with XML layouts, as I was saying. Then we move to the code snippet. We can see that the lazy column will have okay, first wait, I'll have to add the sample data set. So I'll just pause my recording till then. So what we'll do now is, now that I've downloaded the sample data.kt, it will be available in the description box below. I'll send you the link from the GitHub repo. So what we are going to do now is we'll go to again projects, and we'll go now to Java, and in Convo we'll put that particular sample data.kt is there. Okay, so now just to change the name, com.example, that's it, it's inside com.example.convo. So that's where it is, and there we have it. Okay, so the sample data is now created for our use. That's the change we need to do. It has all these samples related, like text, test, different type. Okay, so I'll just do one thing. Instead of colleague, I'll write Ayush everywhere. Now what we need to do is go to main activity again. Now to the fun coding part. So firstly, the very first thing is we need to import this. Okay, so we'll go to first we'll need to import the lazy items, like all the lazy column and lazy rows that we are going to use, okay, which were going to help us. So import Android X dot compose dot foundation dot lazy dot items. Okay, great. So we are done. Right. Till now there's no use for it, but we'll soon get a use for it. So now the biggest change that we are going to make is we'll first go to class, and here set content is message card message, right? Now we are going to change this completely. We are going to write conversation. Within that we'll write messages is equal to, now we can't use this reference, right? Okay, and as I am typing it, it is changing real time over here. So even that is a pretty convenient thing. I hadn't noticed that, but that is cool. So yeah, so messages will be equal to sample data. Okay, sample data dot conversation. Okay, my laptop isn't responding. That's the issue. I'll probably and see. Okay. Conversation and sample. That's the name, I guess. So yeah, sample data and conversation sample has been added. Now, what's the issue here? No. Okay, yeah, there's no function. There's no fun. There's no object or something like that related to that. So we have to change this from this to conversation, and we'll name it messages, as that's the name we gave, and won't be just message, it will be list of messages. So yeah, that's what we are going to do. And there will be a couple more errors, as this won't be message.author or anything like that. We don't even need that at this point, I think. We'll only need messages. Yeah. And okay, there's something wrong that I've done, right? I always think I've done something wrong. So there shouldn't be anything wrong. As far as I remember, they should be right. Oh wait. This shouldn't be the case. This should be this only. I have to create another composable where I'm calling the message card. Okay, wait. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so here we will create yeah. So here I was, and I needed to create composable, and it will be for the conversation. So fun conversation. Now inside it we'll specify the name and the type. So it will be a list with messages inside it. Wait, that was the right spelling. Message. Then after that we'll open it, and inside it there will be lazy column, where inside lazy column we'll write items that are there, which are messages. Then we'll open this and we'll write message message card. And inside this we'll specify message again. Okay, so we are positively done. So now what we have to do is now we'll run it again and we'll get to see a good list. Hopefully it'll run fast. It should run fast. Just was giving some issue, I don't know what it was. So yeah, as you can see, there are many messages, a list of messages with my names and everything else all together. It's available from API 21 plus. Hey, take a look at Jetpack Compose, it's great. It's an environment. All of this, some great testing. And lastly, now what we want to do is we have to make our feed interactive. So for that, what I've thought about is that now we are going to animate our messages while expanding. So we'll have muted. Our conversations are getting more and more interesting, and it's time to play with animation. So we are going to add the ability to store a local UI state, and we can keep a track of it whether the message has been extended or not. To keep a track of it, we use the functions of remember and mutable state of. So composable functions can store the local state in memory by using remember and changes the value by mutable state of. So this is called composable. Using this state will get redrawn automatically when the value is updated. So this is called recomposition. By using composer state APIs like remember and mutable state of, any changes to the state automatically update the UI. So that makes it very convenient, and all you need to do is add these all you need to do is add these particular functions and just use the alt enter command to enter the imports as always. So firstly what we do is we are here and it's a message card where so before the column modifier, okay, after the space, what we do at line number 61, we define a variable called is expanded by, then we use remember function, then we open it, and then inside it we write mutable state of, and we make it false because it's not mutable. Alright, it will change when you want. By default it is not. And again, so yeah, import get value and all of those things is what we needed to do. And then we need to import the mutable state again, and it's done. All we needed to do was that. And then we need to check where all we need to change it. So firstly in column also we'll have some specifications now as we are making it modifier is equal to modifier dot clickable. We are making it interactive, so it will be clickable, and then inside there we are opening the braces. So is expanded is equal to not is expanded, which means it won't be, and when it is clicked it will change. That's the condition we are satisfying, that if it's not clicked it will change. It will not be the same state at any point. Then we have the spacer, then that is done. Okay, surface shape material. Okay, so now what we have is was this for the author or for the, yeah, it's for the author. So after that, after the text again, so it's body, and here we'll put a modifier. Name it modifier dot padding. We'll add some padding to it. The value will give it all is equal to 4.dp, so everything will get a 4 dp padding. And then we need to do is max lines here. To add a comma after this. Max lines. So if it is expanded, so it will show the max lines, otherwise it will show only one line, is what we'll keep it to be. So is expanded int dot max value else 1. So that's the condition we are putting it in, and let's give it a final run. Give it a one second last run, sorry. We need to make one more change, which I'll show. So it'll Gradle build for 1,000 years, and then we'll probably get to see it. So let's wait till then. Okay, so it's done Gradle building, and now what we have to do is we need to terminate the process as always. Now the termination of the app is done, and it's launching the activity, and it's installed successfully. So as you can see, sorry for that, as you can see on my screen, that there are various things, but only one lines are listed. Okay, so now I want to see the list of Android versions, so I'll just click on this message and it will load it. That's how it will show it. Similarly for the description of the Jetpack Compose, it shows everything is shown, and it will remember the state. So that's one convenient way of making it interactive and adding functionality to it. Lastly, what we need to add is making, now we can change the background of the image content as soon as we click on it. So when we click on it, like as I click over here, it should change the color so that we know we have expanded it. So we need to use surface so that we can toggle and it can change the background color. So we will animate it gradually by using the material theme color surface, that method, and from surface to primary. So surface is the color that we have, and primary is the other color. And similarly, animate color as state function and animate content size modifier to animate the message container size smoothly, so that animation will give a very smooth interaction, so that when we click on it, it will smoothly change the color and animation, everything, and the content size will change smoothly too. So here we go. So the line that we first add over here would be over here, which is, well, surface color colon color by animate color as state. Correct. Now don't have a target value, so what we'll do is press enter. We'll put an if condition. So if is expanded, then we'll change it. Material theme. No need for you to come with your braces. Material theme dot colors dot primary, else it will be material theme again dot colors dot surface. Okay, and that's about it. So we'll just do one thing, import color right now. Alt shift enter. It should be the Kotlin one. Okay, so it's done. The next correction that we have to make is for the surface. So here, now firstly we have material in my medium, elevation is 1 dp, and the next thing that we want to do is that we need to make the color to be surface color. I need to change it afterwards. Surface color. Great. Oh yeah, and then to make it a little pop-up, we'll just add a modifier, and we'll take its value to be a modifier dot animate content size dot padding 1.dp. That's how it will change. Alt shift enter, and it's in. The thing that we'll change next is, I guess that's about it, and we'll keep the rest the same. So let's just run it one final time and see how it changes. My primary color is basically purplish something. Just run it, and it ran. And now I'm going to look at all the Android versions, and here we have them. 19 is Kit Kat, Lollipop, Marshmallow, and the color is changing beautifully. Similarly, when we click on it, there's a beautiful change, as you can see. Can experiment this a lot by yourself. So I'll just make them all into purple. I don't know why, but yeah. Go ahead, everything. Okay, so I guess, yeah, whenever we scroll up or down, it changes automatically. Something might be there. So yeah, I'll just recap on firstly, I would like to congratulate you all on completing this tutorial on Jetpack Compose. So we have built a simple chat screen. We have animated, we have expanded messages, we have put images, text, conversations, and we have used a dark theme, previews, and all of this is not even 100 lines of code. Okay, so you take this 112 till here, line number 28. That's less than 100 lines of code, and you get this much. So imagine what you can do if you really start writing. So it gives you a lot of power and a lot of in very less lines. So here's what you have learned so far. So we have learned defining composable functions. We've learned adding different elements in your composable. structuring our UI component using layout composable, extending composables by using modifiers, creating an efficient list, keeping track of state and modifying it, adding user interaction on the composables, and animating messages while expanding. So in conclusion, I would like to say that please do keep practicing, and let's have study jams together, and let's polish our Kotlin and Jetpack Compose skills together. So okay, so yeah, it's been fun teaching you today, and not teaching but discussing this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys. Please do like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell, and comment down whatever your doubts are. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.